So is the Toyota Tacoma finished? Are they done? Did they cripple themselves to the point of no return? And by cripple, I mean pricing and the four-cylinder turbo. Well, the question remains to be answered. I suppose it's a little bit too early. You know, the sales figures came out. I've talked about that a couple of times. If you just looked at that, compared to where they were, then you would say, yes, they're done. But there are a couple of mitigating factors in there. First of all, those figures include 1 month where Toyota didn't sell any trucks because of EPA certification problems. So the numbers are low. However, when you factor in an estimate of what those numbers would have been, they're still low. 50% fewer trucks sold during that time period than where they were in 2023. If you listen to everybody who's talking out there, you would also come to the conclusion that Toyota is finished. They're done when it comes to the Tacoma because of price and because of the Turbo 4. But interestingly, I decided to go out and look at a couple of dealers in my area to see what the inventory levels are like. Because I did a video not too long ago where I looked at what was available on the lots, right? And between the two dealers, they had 21 brand new 2024 Tacomas of various trim levels available. This morning I went out and looked and they had 12. Now, it's been probably, I'd say, a week or so since I looked at the numbers. So over that 7-day period, they sold 9 new Toyota Tacomas between the two of them. And that's a little more than one a day. Is that bad? I don't know. I mean, I think when you reduce your inventory by 9, almost half in a week's time, or maybe less than a week's time, you can't completely write the brand off yet. Obviously, there's still demand for the truck. People are still wanting it. What I would really like to know is what kind of deals did those folks get? Did they get a reduction in price to move those units? You know, I've mentioned I'm hearing that $3,000 to $5,000 or $1,000 to $3,000 rather is being offered as money off for an incentive on the new Tacomas. And I have to say, that kind of sucks when it comes to me because I bought my Tacoma. This is a 2024, by the way, not that long ago, which means I spent $1,000 to $3,000 more than I probably would have had to had I had a crystal ball and known that dealers were going to start offering incentives. So when will we really know? When will we really know if the Tacoma is permanently injured or if it's just the new model syndrome? You know, I've gotten comments. A lot of people are saying that, well, every time a manufacturer puts out a new model, sales drop. And that's because of fears of reliability and quality on that new model. Which, by the way, I can tell you after owning the new Tacoma myself for about 2 months, maybe 3 months, whatever it's been now, that I haven't had any issues with it. No quality problems, no weird lights, you know, on the screen. I can show you the screen here. There's no lights up that are indicating that I'm having any kind of problems. Nothing like that. Fuel economy, still higher than what I had before at 17.8 miles per gallon, but it's nothing earth-shattering like maybe we had hoped. And I think that hope goes back to when they released the new Tundra. Do you remember all the talk when that truck was going to come out? We were going to have like 10, 15 miles more per gallon because of the hybrid system or the Turbo 6 system. And that didn't happen. We saw maybe 2, 3, 4 miles per gallon more, and that's it. And that's kind of what I'm seeing in the Tacoma. At 17.8 miles per gallon, I'm getting about 3, maybe 4 miles per gallon better than I did in my 3rd gen. So it's nothing earth-shattering, and it's certainly nothing that you would dump your 3rd gen for thinking you're going to save all this money in gas. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, for what you're paying for the new Tacoma versus what you're going to save in gas, and then if you add in interest charges, if you're financing, yeah, it's really not worth it. You're probably never even going to break even because of the money that you're saving in gas over the cost and finance charges on this new truck. I mentioned before, is there anything Toyota can do? I did talk about a couple of things: price reductions, interest level or interest amount lowering, I guess, or lower interest rates. I think that's the only option Toyota really has at this point. They can't ever overcome the 4-cylinder turbo people, those that don't want a 4-cylinder in the Tacoma. Although, interestingly, if you look at the other trucks out there, I mean, you've got the Ford, the Colorado, of course, all of the mini trucks or micro trucks. You've got a bunch of 4-cylinders as well. And a lot of those, like the Ford Ranger, and I'm not talking about the Ford Ranger Raptor, the Ford Ranger is a 4-cylinder turbo as well. It has been for years, and it's been nipping at the back of Toyota ever since, never quite getting there, of course. And wouldn't it be a shame if Toyota lost that spot? You know, number one from a corporate standpoint, number one in mid-size truck sales for years, and because of a decision to go to a 4-cylinder turbo and that higher price level, to be kicked out. Now, there is another line of thinking when it comes to pricing, right? And that is that Toyota is making the same or even more money selling less trucks, which of course reduces labor and overhead costs and all of those kind of things, by raising the price, and that's compensating them or even putting them on the plus side and selling fewer trucks. I don't know. That's kind of a conspiracy theory that's out there. We'll never know if that's true. I don't know that Toyota discloses its profits overall. They might as a company as a whole, but I don't know that they really do for specific levels or models within their fleet. Going to be interesting if we ever do hear that. So I don't know. Is Toyota dead with the Tacoma? Did they deal themselves a fatal blow? Of course, time will tell. You know, I think we have to let probably a couple of years go by before we really have a good idea if what Toyota has done is going to be long-term for them. And in the end, I think it's probably going to depend upon reliability a lot. You know, everybody always hates on the domestic brands because of their quality and reliability, but that doesn't really matter if you don't keep the truck for the long haul, right? If you turn your truck over every 2, 3, 4 years, you're probably not going to have a problem anyway. And if you do it within 3 years, you're going to have warranty, and probably none of that'll matter unless you just get fed up sitting at the dealership every other week fixing problems with the domestic brands. We shall see. Anyway, I'm curious what you guys think. Did Toyota deal themselves a fatal blow by what they've done with the Tacoma? Have we seen the end of Toyota's dominance as far as the Tacoma goes in the market? Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.